Let's bring in Ross Gerber, President and CEO at Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. So is he really going to back down, Ross?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like he is. I guess he took Chief Twit off his Twitter profile, and he has been going by these polls, and I certainly hope he does, because I would love to see Elon get back to what he does best, which is working at Tesla and SpaceX. And I think him working behind the scenes on the product at Twitter makes sense, but it's time to get a CEO who knows how to run a media company.
Okay, I've kind of always had a little bit of a problem with it because he ran SpaceX while he was doing the Tesla. I mean, I tweet during my job. I'm not running two tech companies, but it's like a stream of consciousness. You really think this is why Tesla's been down the way it is? We got Apple about to break lows too, Ross, keep in mind.
That's true. And in some ways they have similar problems in China. But I think that there's no doubt in my mind that diluting Tesla stock through $40 billion of sales, and much of that in a very disorderly manner. You know, if you remember just a few months ago, there was the assumption that he was done selling Tesla stock, and then at $200 a share, he starts unloading stock,
Sure.
And it forces the stock down. It doesn't matter what anybody says. That's the way the market works. Supply and demand. You're in a weak market with a Fed going out of control, and then you got the founding shareholder just dumping stock left and right to keep Twitter afloat. So by no means is that going to help Tesla stock, but it does present an opportunity for investors if Elon can get his focus back.
What do you think would show that? What would be the first thing? You know, if it's like the president coming to day one, it's not his actual day one, but the way our attention has been focused on him at Twitter, it might kind of seem like maybe he wants to make a return in a way that signals to his investor base he's paying attention. What would that be if he walks back into Tesla, says, all right, guys, I'm yours again. Here's what comes next?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's basically what it is. He's got to launch a Cybertruck. I think probably the people at Tesla would give him a standing ovation when he gets back, because they probably miss him, or maybe not, I don't know. But I certainly miss him at Tesla. And once again, I think when we're in an area that we're not suited for and we're trying very hard to get a positive result and just not getting it, it is often good to capitulate and make the smart decision to allow somebody else the opportunity to run Twitter. And I think Elon is now starting to realize that this isn't the best role for him, and he's a smart man. I think he gets it, and so I think if he comes back to Tesla at the beginning of the year and sort of has this triumphant return and finds some sort of strong CEO for Twitter, just like Gwen Shotwell at SpaceX, because it's not a similar situation. Actually, Oliver, you know, Gwen was asked by NASA what's going on with Elon gone and all this, and she's like, I run SpaceX, everything's fine, and they were fine with that answer. And that's all I've asked from Tesla, is somebody at Tesla to just like come out and say, here's the plan for Elon, and everything's fine, and so on and so forth. But there's actually nobody at Tesla at the board who can do anything to communicate anything to anybody about what the future lies for management at Tesla.
Okay. And Ross, looking back on this year, what do you think we've learned about Tesla's interconnectedness with China? It seems like one of the big things for Apple going forward is breaking free from some of the supply chain linkages in China. Do you think Tesla needs to do that as well to some degree, or is that just a reality of the situation? They have to sell cars there, they have to produce there?
Well, it's already done. I mean, we just opened a plant in Europe in Austin, and the majority of Tesla production moving forward will be outside of China. So that diversification is already done and ramping right now, thank God, right? But the China factory, you know, to be straightforward, is a phenomenal success story with almost 1 million units a year being created out of China. And the Chinese market's going to come back very, very rapidly this year. I think people are underestimating. Now that zero COVID is over, everybody's going to, you know, get COVID in China, and in 3 to 4 months they'll be probably back on track, and the economy will be roaring if, you know, Xi stimulates the economy and people, you know, do what they did in America after COVID ended here in China. It'll be great for sales at Apple and Tesla. So that's a very short-term issue, which we're very bullish once we get past the winter for China. So that said, Tesla's in a perfect position to profit globally on this massive EV opportunity.
Hey, Ross, just real fast, do you think this time next year, or rather in 2023 just as a whole, Tesla will be selling more vehicles than they did in 2022 or less?
Oh, it's substantially more. I mean, we're in ramp stage right now. Cybertruck's going to be launched this year, and that's what I want Elon focused on, is because launching this new truck is going to be super difficult. But if you look at volume production going into the end of the year at Austin and Berlin, we expect a really full production line by, mid Q1. And so, we'll break every record next year at Tesla again, and just like we did this year.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ross, for the thoughts. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Good conversation throughout the year and going into 2023. Ross is President and CEO at Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. Happy